The abandoned auction and the galactic ship that hid an incredible secret. The stars above the galactic hub of Orionus Prime shimmered like a scattered mosaic of diamonds. Ships of all shapes and sizes moved in precise patterns, weaving through the lanes of interstellar traffic. Among the merchants, traders, and explorers, rumors spread like wildfire. Stories of a strange abandoned auction circulated through the hub every few decades. A place where ships, ancient artifacts, and secrets of civilizations long forgotten were sold to the highest bidder. And then, just as suddenly, it disappeared. Most dismissed it as legend. Few dared to speak of it seriously, but Dr. Alara Vance, a young human xenotechnologist, did not dismiss legends. She studied them. To her, every myth carried a spark of truth hidden beneath layers of exaggeration. Alara leaned against the railing of the observation deck, her eyes tracing the patterns of ships docking and departing. Her human curiosity burned inside her like a constant flame. Other species had technology she could barely understand, and often humans were considered slow or clumsy. But she knew humans had something else: ingenuity, intuition, and an unyielding hunger for discovery. A soft chime sounded from her wrist communicator. "Elara," a voice whispered, "careful not to attract attention. The auction is opening tonight. Coordinates sent." She smiled. Her pulse quickened. Tonight, she might finally see the legendary abandoned auction. The coordinates led her to a remote asteroid cluster on the edge of a lesser-known sector. The path was narrow, lined with jagged rocks and faint gravitational anomalies. Even the bravest of pilots hesitated to enter. Elara's ship, a modest human-made freighter named the Pathfinder, weaved carefully through the rocks. Her small crew consisted of Jin, a quick-thinking navigator from Earth, and Luma, an engineer with unmatched skill in alien machinery. As they approached, a strange sight greeted them. The auction platform floated in the darkness like a colossal skeleton of a forgotten civilization. It was enormous, constructed from dark metal that seemed older than the oldest star in the sector. Holographic signs flickered in multiple languages, advertising items both mundane and impossible. A crystal that could store memories, a fragment of a ship older than most species, and a map to a lost star system. But the most curious thing of all was the crowd, or lack of it. Only a few beings moved among the platforms. Their eyes glinted with suspicion, and their forms shimmered with alien grace. Humans were rare here, and even rarer were those willing to challenge the auction itself. Elara stepped onto the platform, her heart racing. She had read stories, studied schematics, and listened to countless rumors, but nothing prepared her for the sheer scale of the place. The air hummed with energy, as if the auction itself was alive, waiting for something or someone. "Keep your eyes open," she whispered to Jin. "This is not just a sale, it's a test." They moved through the aisles, examining relics of incredible design. Ships with engines powered by stars, devices that bent light and gravity, and weapons so advanced that mere observation made other species uneasy. But nothing caught Alara's attention like the decrepit ship tucked in a shadowed corner. Its hull was scratched and dented, covered in strange symbols no human, or known alien, had ever seen. "Looks abandoned," Jin muttered, glancing at the vessel. "Probably worthless." Elara shook her head. "Everything has value. We just have to look closer." She stepped forward, brushing her hand across the cold metal. A low hum resonated through her fingers, vibrating in a rhythm that seemed almost alive. The symbols along the hull glowed faintly, projecting a holographic interface in midair. Star charts, coordinates, and strange symbols filled the platform around them. Elara gasped. This isn't just a ship. It's a map." Jin peered over her shoulder. "To where?" Elara's eyes widened. "I don't know, but it points to a star system marked as uninhabitable. Humans have never been allowed near it." Luma, who had been examining the ship's power core, frowned. "How does it even work? There's no engine signature, no energy readings. It's like it's waiting for someone to find it. Elara nodded. She knew then that this was more than an auction item. This ship had a secret, and it was calling to her. As the auction continued around them, aliens moved past without noticing. They were blind to the ship's true purpose, seeing only a relic. Humans, however, had a habit of noticing what others overlooked. Curiosity, persistence, and a willingness to take risks. These traits allowed humans to see patterns in chaos, solutions in impossibilities. Elara activated the interface fully, projecting a holographic star map. A series of lights pulsed, marking a path that twisted through dangerous sectors, asteroid fields, and gravitational anomalies. She felt a thrill, the promise of discovery. "This is it," she whispered. "This is what humans do best. We explore, we understand, we adapt. Do you really think we should follow it? We don't even know what's waiting for us." Elara smiled. "Exactly. That's why we have to." She spent hours studying the map, cross-referencing star charts and historical records. Every detail seemed impossible. The coordinates led to a region thought dead, where no ship had returned from in centuries. Yet something about the design of the ship hinted at a deeper intelligence, guiding those who were worthy to find it. Luma finally spoke, her voice trembling with excitement. "Elara, it's like it knows us, like it chose you." Elara felt a shiver of awe. The hum from the ship grew louder, vibrating in harmony with her heartbeat. She realized this was more than a relic, more than a map. It was an invitation. But invitations in the galaxy were never simple. As they prepared to leave the auction, she noticed other ships, shadowy, alien vessels, gathering in the distance. Curiosity had its risks. Someone else had noticed the signal too. Elara's mind raced. She had always believed humans were underestimated. Here was proof. Other species might dismiss us, but we could solve puzzles no one else could, see secrets no one else could, and take risks no one else would. She turned to her crew. "Tonight, we begin something new. This is not just about an auction. It's about proving that humans belong in the stars, not just as passengers, but as explorers, thinkers, and discoverers." Jin gave a small, determined nod. "Then let's find out what the universe is hiding." The Pathfinder lifted off, slipping silently from the abandoned auction. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, mysterious and inviting. The coordinates from the ancient ship glowed on their screens, a path no human, or any other species, had ever dared to travel. Elara felt her pulse quicken with excitement and fear. Every human in history who had dared to explore the unknown had faced danger, doubt, and uncertainty. But they had also discovered wonders, changed civilizations, and proven that humanity could rise in ways others never imagined. As the auction faded behind them, leaving only the hum of the mysterious ship and the cold silence of space, Elara whispered to herself, "Let's see what secrets you've been hiding. Humanity is ready." And with that, the journey began, into the heart of the uncharted, guided by a ship older than any known civilization, and the curiosity of a species that refused to be underestimated. The Pathfinder glided silently through the dark void of space. Stars stretched endlessly in every direction, distant suns casting faint glimmers on the ship's metal hull. The ancient map had guided them this far, but the journey was only beginning. Elara Vance sat in the cockpit, her hands hovering over the controls, eyes fixed on the pulsing coordinates projected in holographic light. "We're getting closer," she said softly. Her voice carried a mix of excitement and careful focus. "The readings are getting stronger. Whatever this ship is, it wants us to find it." Jin, her navigator, leaned over her shoulder, squinting at the display. "It's strange. The energy signature isn't like anything we've ever seen. It's not just a ship, it's intelligent. Somehow it reacts to us." Luma, the engineer, was in the rear section of the ship, examining the old vessel's systems. She had connected the alien interfaces to human sensors, trying to understand the ship's mechanisms. "It's like the ship is alive, but not in the way we know. No engines, no fuel, no power source we can identify, yet it's moving, guiding us. Elora smiled. That's what makes it human.
Our curiosity will figure it out when others fail.
We're going where no one else can. The crew followed the map through a sector filled with floating debris, remnants of ships long destroyed or abandoned. Massive asteroids drifted like silent guardians, each one threatening if touched. The Pathfinder weaved between them, Jin's hands steady on the controls, his reflexes sharper than any alien pilot's would have been. "Look at that," Jin said, pointing to a swirling cloud of cosmic dust. Within it, faint energy patterns glowed, almost like constellations moving in impossible directions. "The ship knew we'd come this way. It's guiding us past every hazard." Exactly. This isn't luck. This is intelligence. Old, patient, careful. Someone, or something, designed this path for the worthy. Suddenly a shadow moved in the distance. A sleek alien vessel drifted into view, silent and dark, almost like a predator watching prey. Elara froze. "We're not alone," she whispered. The ship didn't attack. It circled them cautiously, analyzing, observing. Elara felt a thrill of both fear and excitement. Humans were underestimated, but here they were, proving themselves against eyes that judged them instantly. Jin tightened his grip on the controls. "They're observing. Should we try to communicate?" Elara shook her head. "No, not yet. If they are guardians, they'll reveal themselves when they trust us." Hours passed. The crew began to notice something remarkable. The ancient ship, its hull still attached to the Pathfinder, was subtly changing. Panels shifted, lights pulsed in rhythm, and the holographic map evolved. It responded to human intuition, not just commands. Luma studied the interface. "It's teaching us. Every adjustment we make, every observation we record, it reacts, adapts. It's not passive. It wants us to learn before we arrive." Elara nodded. "This is why humans excel where others fail. Aliens rely on rigid logic. They cannot adapt to surprises." "We can. We can see possibilities they miss." Suddenly, a holographic projection filled the cockpit. A figure appeared, translucent and shimmering. A humanoid form, ancient and unfamiliar. It didn't speak but emitted an aura of intelligence. The crew felt it studying them, understanding them. "It's alive," Jin breathed. "Yes," Elara said, a shiver of awe running down her spine. "But alive in a way that expects us to think, to act, to prove ourselves. This is a test." Days passed as they navigated the star system the map indicated. The ancient ship continued to guide them, presenting challenges along the way. One obstacle was a massive asteroid field, far denser than any recorded in galactic charts. Other species would have retreated. Humans did not. Jin piloted the Pathfinder with skill and creativity, finding paths through gaps no alien sensors could detect. Luma modified the ship's systems, creating stabilizers and shields on the fly. Elara analyzed the ship's data, anticipating hazards before they appeared. Together they moved as one unit, demonstrating adaptability and teamwork that no alien could match. The shadowy alien vessels followed at a distance, silent witnesses. Their expressions, if one could call them that, showed curiosity, surprise, and even admiration. Humans were doing what no one expected. They were surviving where others would have failed. Finally, they reached a region of deep space where gravity waves twisted like invisible rivers. The ancient ship projected a new holographic image, a massive structure floating in orbit around a dim star. It was unlike anything in galactic records, a colossal ring perfectly smooth, stretching thousands of kilometers, glowing faintly with an internal light. Elara gasped. This is incredible. Whatever civilization built this, they were far beyond anything we've imagined." Luma frowned. "And dangerous." "Look at the energy fields around it. Any mistake could destroy us." Elara shook her head. "No, this is why we're here, to understand. to learn, to prove that humans can face the unknown and not be crushed by it. The ancient ship pulsed, guiding them carefully into orbit. For the first time, the crew felt a sense of connection, not just to the vessel but to the intelligence guiding them. It trusted them, or at least, it was curious enough to test them. Jin broke the silence. "Do you think the others will attack?" Ilara considered this.
They're not attacking because they know we're different. They're waiting.
Observing. Testing. Humanity is proving itself, even to species far older and stronger than us. Inside the colossal ring, the crew found chambers filled with technology and artifacts. Some were recognizable, advanced sensors, storage devices, but others defied understanding. Materials shimmered with energy, light bent in impossible ways, and glyphs pulsed with life. "This is beyond comprehension," Luma whispered.
And yet, I feel like we're supposed to understand it.
"That it's guiding us, teaching us."
Ilara nodded. Exactly. Humans can do that.
Others cannot. We connect dots, find patterns, see possibilities no one else can. That's why we're here. That's why the ship chose us. They explored cautiously, guided by the ancient interface. Every discovery seemed like a puzzle, and every puzzle required creativity, intuition, and cooperation, traits humans excelled in. Alien species might have brute strength or technical skill, but humans had adaptability. Suddenly, the ship projected a holographic warning. "Many have come. Few have understood. Those who misuse knowledge perish. Those who adapt will be guided." Alara's stomach tightened.
This isn't just a test of skill, it's a test of ethics.
Of our choices. If we make mistakes, the consequences could be severe. Jin swallowed hard. "We can do this." "Humans always find a way," Bluma added. "We just have to listen, learn, and act together. No one else would even attempt this."
Ilara smiled. Exactly.
"We're proving what humans have always been. Curious, persistent, adaptable, and capable of understanding what others cannot. That's why we're here, and that's why we will succeed." The ancient ship pulsed again, almost like a heartbeat. It seemed to approve, nudging them toward the final chamber at the heart of the ring. A faint light glowed at the center, inviting them forward. Ilara's pulse quickened. They had passed the first part of the test. The path was dangerous, filled with challenges designed for those who could think differently, act quickly, and understand without instructions. Humans had proven themselves capable, and still, she knew, the greatest test was yet to come. As the crew advanced toward the glowing center, shadowy alien observers lingered at the edge of the ring. Their expressions, curiosity mixed with something akin to respect, showed that even the galaxy's oldest species were beginning to understand that humans were different.
Ilara glanced at her crew. "We're not just exploring. We're showing the universe what humans can do."
Intelligence, ethics, courage, all of it matters, and we're just getting started. The ring's internal pathways twisted and turned, leading them deeper into the heart of the mystery. Every step, every choice, was a chance to prove their worth. The human crew moved forward, confident, adaptable, and ready for the challenge. And somewhere deep inside the ancient ship, a faint pulse of recognition beat in rhythm with Ilara's own heartbeat, as if the universe itself had decided that humans, small, underestimated, and curious, were ready to inherit a secret far greater than any one species could imagine. The heart of the colossal ring glowed with an intense soft light, unlike anything the human crew had ever seen. The pathways widened into a vast chamber and the walls shimmered as if they were alive. Every surface reflected the energy of the ship, casting patterns that seemed to move and change when observed from different angles. Ilara Vance stood at the center, her eyes wide with awe. "It's beautiful," she whispered, "and it's more than that. It's a puzzle, something the ship wants us to understand, not just touch." Jin scanned the chamber carefully. The walls. They're not just decoration. Look at these patterns. They shift when we move. The more we interact with them, the more the chamber changes. Luma crouched near a panel that resembled a giant crystal prism. When she touched it, a light beam projected across the room, forming intricate patterns in midair.
It's a mechanism, she said.
Some kind of holographic interface. But it's adaptive. It reacts to what we think, not just what we do.
Elara nodded. Exactly.
This is why humans excel in situations others cannot. We can understand context, predict outcomes, and act in ways the aliens never imagine. The ship isn't testing strength or speed. It's testing intelligence and intuition. The chamber shifted again, revealing a series of floating platforms, each containing a holographic puzzle. Symbols, star charts, and moving lights floated above them, forming patterns that seemed impossible to solve. Elara studied them carefully. These aren't random, she said. They're connected. Every puzzle leads to the next. We just need to see the relationships, how everything interacts. Jin frowned. Most species would give up. They'd see this as impossible.
Exactly, Elara said, smiling. But humans find patterns in chaos.
We adapt. We improvise. That's why we're here. Luma touched one of the light beams. It bent and formed a new sequence of symbols. It's like it wants us to think differently. Not just solve it, but understand it. As they worked together, Elara noticed something remarkable. Each time they made progress, the chamber responded. Platforms shifted to reveal hidden paths. Symbols rearranged themselves, guiding them toward the next step. The ship was teaching them, testing not just knowledge, but how humans think, how they collaborate, and how they understand morality and consequences. Hours passed as they navigated the puzzles. The chamber's challenges were not physical. They were intellectual, ethical, and intuitive. One puzzle projected a simulation of a galaxy, showing civilizations rising and falling based on decisions made within the simulation. Elara observed carefully. This is incredible. The ship is showing us history, cause and effect, and the consequences of choices. It wants us to understand, not just observe. Jin leaned closer. The simulations, some of these civilizations destroyed themselves by using advanced technology carelessly. Others thrived by cooperating, sharing knowledge, and respecting natural limits.
Luma's eyes widened. It's a lesson.
A moral test as much as an intellectual one. If we fail to understand the consequences, we won't be trusted with the ship's secret.
Elara nodded. And that's why humans are perfect for this challenge.
We learn from experience, adapt to new conditions, and act ethically when guided correctly. Aliens often follow rigid rules. They lack the creativity and judgment humans naturally apply. As they progressed deeper into the chamber, the ship projected a holographic map of energy flows connecting the entire galaxy. Pulses of light indicated stable and unstable regions, showing areas of potential danger and opportunity. Elara realized the importance of the information. This is a blueprint, she said, excitement rising in her chest. Not for a weapon, not for conquest. It's a blueprint for energy, for sustainability. Whoever understands this can preserve civilizations instead of destroying them. Jin's voice was soft. Other species would use this for control or power, but humans, we can do something different. We can create, preserve, and teach. Luma smiled. It's exactly why the ship chose us. It doesn't see us as weak. It sees potential. And only humans could understand and apply this knowledge responsibly. The chamber pulsed as if acknowledging her words. A new corridor opened, bathed in golden light. At its center floated a crystalline device, intricate and delicate, humming with energy. The device seemed alive, almost aware of their presence. Elara approached carefully. This must be it, the core of the puzzle. The ultimate secret the ship has been guarding. The holographic interface flickered, projecting a series of ethical dilemmas, simulations, and challenges around the crew. Each choice affected the device's reaction. Elara realized the ship was testing them one final time. Not for technical skill, but for moral insight and collaboration. The first challenge was simple in appearance. A holographic world faced extinction unless resources were distributed carefully. Aliens would likely choose efficiency or self-interest.
Elara turned to her crew. We need to work together.
We can't just think about immediate gain. We have to consider long-term effects for everyone. Jin adjusted the holographic controls, redistributing resources and simulating outcomes. If we allocate too much to one area, another suffers. If we balance, we can save everyone. Luma nodded. It's about cooperation, empathy, and foresight. Humans can see the bigger picture. The device pulsed brighter, approving their choices. The walls shimmered, opening the next segment. The second challenge involved energy flow. A simulation showed how advanced civilizations could harness power from stars. Improper use led to devastation, while careful application promoted growth. Elara guided the team. We need to stabilize the flow, not exploit it. Efficiency without ethics is useless. Together, they adjusted the holographic conduits, predicting outcomes and correcting errors. The ship responded immediately, guiding them forward, acknowledging their understanding. Finally, they reached the core chamber where the crystalline device floated, bathed in radiant light. Its surface reflected the stars outside, and it hummed with intelligence. The holographic figure from before appeared again, this time larger, more detailed. It projected a message, not in words, but in ideas and emotions, accessible through thought and intuition. Elara understood immediately. Knowledge is a test. Only those who combine intelligence with ethics, creativity with empathy, may carry the secret. The power to preserve, not dominate, is the true test.
Elara turned to Jin and Luma.
This is what humans do best. We don't just act, we think, we feel, we consider consequences. Others might have strength or technology, but humans have intuition, judgment, and morality. Jin smiled. Then let's show the universe what we can do. The device pulsed and descended into the hands of the human crew, responding only to them. Energy flowed through the room, illuminating their faces with brilliance. They had passed the final test, not by force, not by cunning, but by collaboration, insight, and ethics. Outside, the shadowy alien observers remained at the edge of the ring. Some looked astonished. Others seemed almost humbled. Even the galaxy's most ancient species were beginning to understand that humans were different.
Elara held the device carefully.
This isn't just a tool, it's a responsibility. We can use this to preserve worlds, improve lives, and teach others. Luma nodded. And that's exactly why the ship chose us. It doesn't see humans as weak, it sees humans as capable. Jin added capable of thinking, creating, and protecting. That's our strength. Elara looked at the stars through the chamber's transparent walls. The galaxy stretched endlessly, full of mysteries and challenges. But she felt a deep certainty. Humanity had passed a test no other species could, proving that ingenuity, empathy, and courage were just as powerful as technology or strength. The crystalline device pulsed once more, as if acknowledging their promise. Elara smiled. This is only the beginning. The galaxy is full of challenges, but humans are ready. The chamber hummed, a sound of approval and anticipation. The ship had revealed its secret. The humans had proven themselves worthy. And the universe, silent, vast, and full of potential, was about to see a species that could rise above underestimation, not through conquest, but through wisdom, collaboration, and courage. The journey was far from over, but Elara knew one thing. Humanity had earned the right to wield knowledge responsibly, to explore boldly, and to inspire the galaxy in ways no one had expected. And somewhere deep in the shadows beyond the ring, other species watched in awe. Humans had shown them something profound. Curiosity, morality, and intelligence could change the universe more than power ever could. The stars of Orionus Prime glimmered as the Pathfinder approached the galactic hub. Space traffic was heavier than usual, and rumors had already begun to spread. Whispers of a human crew navigating a forgotten star system and uncovering an ancient secret had reached the ears of traders, scientists, and diplomats alike. Elara Vance sat in the cockpit, her hands steady on the controls, though her heart raced with anticipation. "This is it," she said softly. "After everything, it's time to return." Jin, seated beside her, adjusted the navigation console. "I wonder what the others will think. Do you think they'll even believe what we've done?" Luma in the rear smiled quietly. "They'll have to. The proof is with us. And more than that, humans have always been underestimated. Maybe it's time they saw what we can really do." Elara nodded. "Exactly. Not through force, not through conquest, but through curiosity, intelligence, and integrity. That's the human way." As the Pathfinder entered the orbital lanes of Orionus Prime, the hub's observers paused. Ships stopped mid-traffic, scanning the newcomers. Alien species with centuries of history and authority regarded the small human vessel with suspicion.
A freighter from a minor species?
Or something more.
Elara activated the ship's external displays.
The crystalline device, which had guided them through the ancient ring, glowed softly. Holographic data streamed outward, showing energy flows, sustainable technology, and interstellar blueprints. It was not a weapon, but a gift of knowledge. The aliens outside were silent at first. Some frowned in confusion. Others leaned closer, curiosity evident in their expressions. Then, slowly, admiration spread. The hub realized that humans had accomplished what no other species could. They had discovered a tool older than most civilizations, and understood it fully, not for power, but for responsibility. Elara docked the Pathfinder at the central station. A crowd had gathered not out of hostility but out of wonder and respect. Representatives from dozens of species approached cautiously, their questions polite but filled with curiosity.
An elder alien, tall and covered in shimmering scales, stepped forward.
"Human," it said, its voice resonant. "We observed your journey. Others would have failed. You succeeded where many of us could not. How?" "We listened, we observed, and we thought carefully. We worked together. We didn't try to dominate or rush, we understood. That's how humans succeed in challenges others dismiss." The alien paused, then inclined its head. "Curiosity, adaptability, collaboration, these are traits often underestimated. Humans, you have proven yourselves worthy of knowledge that has been guarded for millennia." Word of their success spread quickly through the hub. Humans, once considered minor players in galactic affairs, were now being seen in a new light. Scientists from other species approached them, eager to understand the crystalline device. Merchants offered assistance, and even rival factions showed signs of respect.
Elara realized something profound.
This was not about control or dominance. This was about earning trust and respect through intelligence, ethics, and courage, something humans had always excelled at, even when others failed to notice. Jin laughed softly. "We're finally being taken seriously." Luma smiled. "It feels good, doesn't it? All those times humans were underestimated." "They were wrong." Elara nodded. "It's more than good. It's proof. Proof that humans can shape the galaxy responsibly, not by force, but by understanding and wisdom." The crystalline device hummed, responding to Elara's presence. It projected a holographic map of the galaxy, highlighting areas of need, worlds where civilizations struggled, planets that could benefit from sustainable energy, and sectors where cooperation could prevent conflict. "This is more than technology. It's a guide. We can share knowledge, help civilizations grow, and preserve life in ways no one else has thought of." A young alien scientist stepped forward hesitantly. "Human, will you teach us?" Elara smiled. "We will share what we can, not because we want power, but because we understand that knowledge must be used wisely. We've learned it's not enough to know. You must also act responsibly." The scientist bowed. Then the galaxy may change, thanks to humans. Meanwhile, in the corners of the hub, shadowy alien representatives whispered to each other. Many had expected humans to fail, to be reckless, to misuse knowledge. Yet, here they were. Humans had proven that ethics, intelligence, and adaptability could triumph over age, experience, or rigid logic. One elder whispered, "Perhaps we have underestimated humanity for too long. They are not just clever. They are wise in ways we cannot measure." Another added, "They may be small, but their potential is limitless." Elora overheard the whispers and smiled quietly. She didn't need recognition. Humans had proven themselves not through boastful acts, but through courage, understanding, and ethical choices. That was true strength. The crew of the Pathfinder began teaching, sharing knowledge with scientists, engineers, and students from many species. They demonstrated sustainable energy systems, ways to stabilize planetary environments, and techniques to preserve endangered ecosystems. They shared not just technology, but human thinking, creativity, intuition, and collaboration. Elara realized this was humanity's real gift. Other species might have advanced technology, but humans had adaptability and ethics, qualities that could not be replicated. The galaxy was watching, learning, and slowly starting to understand that humans were more than they appeared. Months passed. The hub flourished as new systems were stabilized and restored. Humans became advisors, teachers, and innovators. The knowledge they had gained from the ancient ship was not hoarded, it was shared, expanding cooperation and understanding across the galaxy. Elara often stood on the observation deck, looking at the stars. The crystalline device hummed softly beside her, a reminder of their journey. She thought of the abandoned auction, the ship that had chosen them, and the challenges they had overcome. She smiled. Humans were underestimated, and we proved them wrong. Not by force, not by conquest, but by curiosity, courage, and collaboration. That's the human way. Jin leaned beside her. "And it feels good, doesn't it? Finally, we're not just surviving. We're leading responsibly." Luma nodded. "Exactly. This is just the beginning. Humans will continue to explore, learn, and teach. That's our role in the galaxy." In quiet corners of the hub, aliens still whispered, some with respect, others with awe. They had seen humans navigate impossible challenges, solve puzzles beyond their understanding, and wield knowledge with ethics and intelligence. Humans were no longer minor players. They were guardians, explorers, and teachers. The galaxy had underestimated them for centuries. That mistake was now corrected. Elara turned to her crew. "We've done more than survive. We've proven that humans belong here, not just as passengers, but as contributors, innovators, and protectors. And the universe will never underestimate us again." The crystalline device pulsed once more, as if agreeing. Humanity's quiet triumph was complete, not through violence, not through dominance, but through curiosity, ingenuity, and morality. The galaxy had a new standard for intelligence, and it had a new reason to respect the species that had long been underestimated. Elara looked at the stars, feeling a sense of deep satisfaction. The journey that began with the mysterious auction had led to a revelation. Humans were capable of greatness, not because they were strongest or fastest, but because they thought differently, acted wisely, and cared deeply. The universe was vast, full of mysteries and wonders. But humanity was ready, and for the first time the galaxy saw humans not as minor players, but as a species capable of shaping the future for the better. The hub of Orionis Prime glowed in the distance, alive with possibilities, and Elara knew that humans, small, underestimated, and endlessly curious, would rise to meet them. Humanity had triumphed, quietly, wisely, forever.